Well, hello everyone. Me and Bridget here in the greenhouse for Vegan in Quarantine number 3. Bridget, what were we talking about? We were just inside and we were like, let's go out to the greenhouse. And then she said, well, why don't we film another Vegan in Quarantine? I thought that is a great idea. So we decided that we were going to talk about keeping it simple. Now, 30+% of the world, not just the United States, but the world currently is in some sort of shelter-in-place, self-isolation, meetings of less than 10 people, essential personnel only on traveling. I mean, it's craziness happening right now. But I think now, more than ever, we've talked about things like this is a great time to take care of your personal health, dietarily wise, and mental health, and why this is a good time for new growth, to try new recipes, to try new exercises, try different things. And now I think we're going to talk about why it's a great time to keep it simple. And we normally keep it simple here. You've probably watched recipes of mine or videos where I talk about, what are they, Bridget? Can you see them? The simple starchy staples, right? Foods like potatoes, sweet potatoes, rice, oats, corn, quinoa, sweet potatoes, foods that people and populations have eaten for thousands of years without being plagued with the chronic diseases that are destroying our healthcare here in the modern world. And those are simple ingredients. And I think beyond that, now is a good time to try different ways to use them. You may be someone, and let's just say this, Bridget, here. A lot of people were worried about how I hold you on the past couple of Vegan in Quarantines. And I'll just say this. I have been, I'm no expert. Trust me, I'm no expert. But I have been holding Bridget for probably 200, 300 hours since she's been born like this. She's always in one of our arms. And this is just how she's comfortable. I can't say anything more about that. But let's talk about keeping it simple. Not talking about how to hold precious baby Bridget, I guess. So keeping it simple. Yes, you have the simple starchy staples. Simple ingredients. Starchy-based foods that populations, really civilizations have been built around. Wheat, potatoes, sweet potatoes, corn. We've got people of the corn, people of the sweet potato, people of wheat. There's a lot to be said about that. But beyond that, I think there's an importance in finding ways to use them. You may be someone who's doing your grocery shopping, and I've gotten a lot of messages about certain recipes that I have or certain recipes that I've shared that use ingredients like oats or rice. And people are now saying, hey, the store's out of oats. All they have is potatoes and sweet potatoes. Or my store's out of potatoes and sweet potatoes and all they have is rice and oats. What should I do? Or am I going to starve? Or am I going to be able to find anything to eat with those ingredients? And yes, you can find recipes to use with those. And more than that, you can find ways to thrive on those. To give you an example, Dr. Miller and myself we've went grocery shopping. We normally go grocery shopping once a week, but when we had a feeling that everything was going to go down, we didn't stockpile toilet paper or anything, but we got enough of the foods that we eat every single month for a couple months. And so we really haven't been grocery shopping for a few months. And what that's really has led us to is simplifying a lot of our ingredients and our recipes. And also it's really cool to see the fridge. There used to be, we would get frivolous, all the different sauces and different spices and seasonings, which are fun and good. But now we've gone to more of a bare bones, real basic pantry, refrigerator, recipe and ingredients list. And it's kind of been really enjoyable. There's been some times where we think, oh, it would be nice to have this or it'd been nice to have that. But we've enjoyed our meal. We've gotten through it. And what I have in my pantry, and I would show you if we were in there, but we're in the greenhouse, is we just have some cacao powder, or we have bananas in the freezer, we've got greens, and we've got these different things, a lot from the garden, but food, or oats, or rice and beans, foods that we would normally say, all right, let's make something with it. But now it's to say, let's make 3 or 4 meals this week with it at a minimum, and that may be good for some or upsetting for others. But at our current time, and who knows what things are going to be like moving forward, we kind of have to adjust and adapt to say we've got to figure out how we can make 6 different recipes this week with rice and beans, or how can we use split peas in 4 different ways, and what are some other ways to use oats or rice? And rice has been a good one. I've gotten some questions this week especially. Bridget, I'm going to close this door. I'm worried we've got our greenhouse lights on, and I don't want any mosquitoes to come in here. Or if they do come in here, I want them staying away from you. But I got quite a few questions. Someone saying, hey, I don't have oats. What can I make for breakfast? And I sent them a few recipes and a few ideas. But for breakfast, if you don't have oats or you don't have fruit, you can really go crazy with a lot of things. I remember growing up, my dad, who was by far the exact opposite of a whole food plant-based eater or anything from that, if he would run out of oatmeal, and he would always eat oatmeal, probably kept him alive, probably the reason he's still alive and got to the point where he could adopt a whole food plant-based diet because he ate oatmeal for breakfast. But he would run out of oatmeal, he would have rice. We'd have cooked rice, or he would cook some rice, and he would mix it with, of course, his sugar and his cinnamon, the standard fare for his oatmeal. But now, if we have rice and say we want that for breakfast, I'll make some cooked brown rice and mix that with some soy milk, maybe some maple syrup and some cinnamon. Cook it a little bit, maybe on the stovetop, or just have it like it is, cold. If you haven't had cooked brown rice that's cold with some cold, like soy milk with a little bit of maple syrup and some cinnamon, you should try it. It's really tasty. It has a little bit of a bite to it. You can warm up the rice if you prefer, but there is a lot of different things that you can do when you're keeping it simple with simple ingredients, simple recipes. And we can get into some of the different recipe ideas and some of the different simple ingredients, but with all that's happening, there's a lot of stress going on, right, Bridget? I don't think you're stressed, or I'm stressed, or Dr. Miller's stressed, but there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of panic. I've heard people going to grocery stores and people are wearing like trash bags with scuba gear, just craziness. There's a lot of worry. There's a lot of panic, which probably is somewhat understandable. But we have to find a way to grasp and control what we can control. And we talked about it in another episode, but keeping it simple is a great way to do it. You could keep it simple in your daily routine, right, Bridget? You like to sway back and forth with dad and mom for about 8 hours a day, and so right? And so we'll do that. And here, I'll turn you around. You like that too. Let's see if this helps. How's this? How's that? We're going to keep it simple and hold you nice and simply. Is that good? If you notice, I'm dirty, or I have dirt on my face because I was out working in the garden most of the day. So this is what it looked like coming out of the garden. Dr. Miller wanted me to hold Bridget while she could get a few things done inside. So I said, hey, we'll come out here and spend some time in the greenhouse and talk about keeping it simple. It is crazy times. We enjoy doing these vegan quarantines when we have something to talk about, and I do think keeping it simple is a good topic. And if you have any questions, let me know, and I'd love to answer them in the comment section below. But how are we keeping it simple, Bridget? I think our schedules, we're keeping it simple. We're not sitting around worrying about everything and anything that's happening in the world around us, right? We're kind of controlling what we can control, keeping it simple. And I know there's different circumstances, different people, and there's healthcare providers and spouses of healthcare providers that are having to isolate themselves in different rooms and different. It's craziness what's happening. And our heart goes out to you, and our heart goes out to them, and it's probably a lot tougher for them to keep it simple. But if you have any sort of normalcy, or you're able to create any sort of normalcy, I think now's the time to do it and keep it simple in that way. And if you are going to go grocery shopping, keeping it simple is, I would say, a very beneficial thing, because you can keep your list short. You can not load up like get 10 months worth of stuff, but get a month's worth, get a good amount's worth of groceries, simple ingredient groceries that you'll be able to use for a long time. They're probably going to be shelf stable. You're probably not going to keep bananas around for 3 months, but you can always freeze them and then keep them around for 3 months. But ingredients like potatoes, sweet potatoes, oats, corn, quinoa, ingredients that we always have on hand and that we have our pantry stocked with at all times, especially now, that we can make versatile recipes with. And that's something that I just saw a post, I forget who it was, and I'm not calling it. Someone had said, I've been doing this plant-based thing for a while, and what can I eat instead of beans? I'm getting tired of beans. I don't want any beans anymore. And that's okay. Because maybe that person's just having black beans, or maybe that person's just having pinto beans, and maybe you're just having the one bean. You're just not utilizing a lot of ingredients or preparation ways or ways to prepare those beans, and that could be a problem. But I just had to kind of just shake my head, because there's literally populations of people who have built diets around one simple starchy staple. There's populations that have eaten corn as the basis of their diet, with some fruits and vegetables, and of course they eat other things that may not be plant-based, but 80-90% of their calories are coming from that one food. And these are long-lived populations. They're not living to 30 eating corn, or the Okinawans aren't living to 25 eating sweet potatoes as 85% of their calories. No, they're living to be 100. But they're not eating probably, I know, they're not just eating sweet potato, steaming a sweet potato and having that every single day. And we enjoy that, and I'm sure they enjoy that. But they're finding different ways to cook them, different ways to prepare them. And you can do that. You can branch out in your recipe preparation when you are keeping your ingredients list simple. You can go two ways about it. You can keep your ingredients list simple and find various ways to cook those simple ingredients, or you can go get 1,000 different ingredients. You load up your pantry with a bunch of different stuff and try to make simple recipes with it, but I don't find that really works out that great, right, Bridget? We think it's a lot better to use simple ingredients, make simple recipes, but you could always branch out and make a little bit more complicated or exquisite recipes with those simple ingredients. Is at least the way that we enjoy to do it, and we find that works for us. And some recipes, like, let's just talk about this past week, what we've kind of eaten. And Bridget's eaten one thing, it's mommy's milk. And but what she will eat in the future, and stuff that Dr. Miller and myself have eaten, we'll start from today, and I think we'll go backwards. So today for lunch, we had pinto beans that were cooked, and I mixed some nutritional yeast, some garlic powder, onion powder, chili powder, and cumin in with those beans. Cooked, just warmed them up on the stovetop. We also had some cooked brown rice, so I just mixed the brown rice and the beans, and we had a rice and bean bowl. You could also bake or air fry some corn tortillas to make chips. Very simple to do, a simple ingredient. You could load up on those. You can get 10 packs of corn tortillas, keep them in the fridge for the next 6 months, and I think you'll be okay. Depending on, maybe 3 months. But you can do that. So we had that for breakfast. We had oatmeal, and we've been having oatmeal squares for breakfast, but for some reason it's weird. It's starting to get warm outside, starting to really heat up, which is making me want to utilize hot meals and hot breakfast more, because I know I'm losing the chance or the opportunity every single day that goes by. Oh, you're right. It's getting more and more warm outside, meaning it's going to be less and less likely that we're going to want hot breakfasts. So we've been eating hot breakfast for the past couple of days in response to it getting warm outside. Kind of crazy. So I had steel cut oats that I mixed 1 cup of steel cut oats with 3 cups of water or plant-based milk. You could use any sort of liquid, with 3 tablespoons of maple syrup and a teaspoon of cinnamon. Put that in there, cooked it for, I think it's 8 minutes or 8 or 10 minutes in the Instant Pot. You could also cook it on the stovetop. You could cook it overnight in the slow cooker or the crock pot. But that worked out great, and we've had that for the past couple days. A wonderful breakfast, nice and warm. You could also set that at nighttime if you have an Instant Pot or electric pressure cooker to delay start. Wake up to that, a really good thing. I woke Dr. Miller and Bridget up to it yesterday. I knew I wanted to get outside early, so I got up, fed Bubbles and Bella, or Nanny Bubbles and Bella to you, and got outside and had Dr. Miller's breakfast ready, which Bridget probably had about 8 hours later. So we had that, and then what else? What did we have last night? We had rice and beans last night, and I did bake some corn tortillas for some easy oil-free chips. And lunch, I think we had a bean soup for lunch. It sounds kind of simple, does it? Does it sound simple? Yes, it does. And I wouldn't say this is like, oh, this panic's happened, or what's happening has caused us to do this. It's kind of how we've eaten for the past 3 or 4 years, with good results, losing 100 pounds for myself, and Dr. Miller going through a perfect pregnancy by all accounts, and now we're raising baby Bridget, and we're just continuing these simple recipes and simple meals, and it's kind of gotten gotten more simple as it's gone on, I would say. We've found that, and I've definitely found this to be true, and I didn't necessarily believe the people who told me it when I first heard it, but I would talk to people that have eaten a whole food, plant-based, vegan diet for decades, right? 10, 20 years. And when I was getting started, and as I've kind of continued, I would hear, oh, you're trying these recipes or that recipes. And, I wrote a recipe book and got the website and recipe videos and trying different things. And I would hear from them to say, just wait. You'll just get back to rice and beans or sweet potatoes or oats. You'll keep it simple. And I said, whatever. I don't. And sure enough, as we've gone on year after year, month after month, we've really relied more and more on simple, easy to make, easy to prepare recipes, because as life gets hectic and life gets crazy, when a lot of people would say, I can't cook, I'm just going to go to the drive-thru and get fat, sick, overweight, and become, a professional in and out of hospitaler, because I'm going to be on every pill, potion, and prescription under the sun. Right, Bridget? It's sad, but we know people. While other people would rely on that convenience, we've relied on the convenience of being able to have a big pot of brown rice cooked and ready to go in the fridge, have a big pot of black beans, a big pot of pinto beans cooked and ready to go in the fridge, having oats in the pantry, having rice in the pantry that we can cook pretty quickly if we don't have it already cooked in the fridge. And so that's become our fast food. That's become where we lean back on, where we're able to kind of take a step back and have a bit of convenience in the fact that we have that fast food in the fridge in the whole food plant-based form that we can have like it is. I could have a bowl of rice and warm that up really simply on the stovetop in the oven. If you have a microwave, use a microwave and put some sort of sauce or seasoning on top of it. You've got a rice bowl. You could add some beans to that. You could have a bowl of oatmeal very quickly. You could do oatmeal in about 1,000 different ways. You can make oatmeal breakfast squares like we've been making, or oatmeal bites, or what else, Bridge? Or just a bowl of oatmeal, still cut oatmeal, rolled oats, quick cooking oats. There's a lot of different options. And so that's become the simple fast food, convenience food that we've been able to rely on. And there's a lot of people that are out of work right now that maybe money's tight. And so there's a reason to keep it simple for that, because you're able to, I quote it in my book, but just talking about how keeping it simple with this way of eating, and keeping it simple with the simple starchy staples, and keeping it simple. I got a bit of a sore there. I was using the rake all day today. I'll go like this so people don't have to see. That's callous. How about that? But if you're someone who's coming onto hard times, this may be the perfect time to keep it simple with this way of eating, because you go to the grocery store and get some oats and beans and rice and potatoes and sweet potatoes, and you make a lot of meals for a little bit of money and fill up. And not only are you going to save money on your budget, but you're also going to feel better, probably lose some weight, probably regain your health, which with everything that's going on, the craziness that's going on, being tip-top shape and health-wise is definitely at a premium, I would say, and most others would probably agree. So keeping it simple in that approach. And then if you are lucky enough to still be working, and maybe you're someone who does have a job but you're working from home, that might here's the scenario that I feel for you. Your scenario is you're a single parent, you've got 2 kids, and your job has been sent to home, and now you're expected, and your children's daycare / school is canceled, and so you've got 2 kids running around, young or old, it doesn't matter. You got 2 kids running around. You are now at home 8 hours a day, and they are not in any sort of structured activity, structured curriculum, and you're kind of stuck figuring out every single aspect of it. And so I would say now more than ever, you need something quick, easy, simple that you can rely on, that you can lean on, some sort of convenience. And there's nothing more convenient for a hungry kiddo or a hungry family than to have cooked rice and beans, or oats, or potatoes, cooked steamed sweet potatoes, or baked potatoes, cool and ready, sitting there in the fridge, ready just to be warmed up in 5 minutes to feed your family. We do it mostly because we just enjoy it, and that's the way we like to eat. But this may be the time that it's like a necessity for you to keep it simple in that regards. And I feel for you. We feel for you. We really do. But now's the time to keep it simple. I think everybody, we've all gotten to this point where oh, it's a fun celebratory night. Let's go to this vegan restaurant. Or let's go here. Let's just. Where now it's like, whoa, we've got to figure out what to do with our lives. And if you're working like myself, I always work from home, and Dr. Miller works from home a lot, and so we keep a good structure. But even now, it's like we're just not. There would be once a week or once a month we'd go out or we'd do something. Where now it's to say, all right, we got to figure out something to do, and so being able to focus our attention on keeping it simple in the kitchen is a good thing. Being able to focus on keeping it simple in just the around the house, or really whatever we're doing, has become a premium. And I don't know if there's ever been a time, I don't think there really has, in the history of the U.S. or the history of the modern world, where we've had to kind of simplify our lives. And maybe now's a good wake-up call for you to say, you know what, I've been going off course with diet, or I've been, doing this, and life's gotten hectic, and my health's kind of gone out of control. And maybe now's the time you step back, you sit down, and you kind of take stock of where you're at with your health and life, and you say, you know what, now's the time that I'm going to simplify everything. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to focus on eating healthy whole plant foods as close to their natural source as possible, and I'm going to regain my health. I'm going to recapture my joy for life. Maybe it's regaining your just overall mental clarity. It could be a lot of things, but I think, and we think, don't we? We think that by keeping it simple could play a big role in that and really be a big help to you. So, Bridgette, today was a good one. This has been Vegan in Quarantine number 3, episode 3. We just want to know that we love you. We're thinking about you. We know it's a hard time for everyone. I mean, we really do feel for you. And if you need anything, and you have any questions or comments, suggestions, let us know in the comment section below. And we'll definitely be back. We're sending our love, sending warm thoughts. Hopefully the weather is warming up wherever you're at, and life gets back to normal here soon. So we love you. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you very, very soon. Say bye, Bridge. Bye.